Hi everyone, welcome back to my another episode on Databricks. So till now we looked into a community edition, Databricks community edition. Now we are slowly switching to Azure portal. The reason for moving to Azure portal is some of the features that I want to showcase is not available in the community edition. For example, job scheduling, right? So today we will explore how we can schedule the job, schedule the notebook basically, right? Based on your requirement. So in live scenario, there may be requirement that the notebook should be scheduled to run every 1 hour, every minute, or every day. So this is one of the important area that we can look into. But I was not using my Azure portal for a long time and I deleted all the services in the portal. So in order to show this demo, I have to start from the beginning. So I have the subscription, but all other services we need to install it. So right from creating the resource group, then installing the services inside the resource group, what is the importance of resource group, install data lake gen 2, then provide access to the Databricks to read from generation 2 data lake. Then we can upload our notebook, whatever we use previous demo, we can use the same notebook and upload into the Databricks, right? um, Create Azure web app is part of providing the access to the lake, right? It is through Azure Key Vault. Then finally we can run the notebook, check the data, the result, and schedule the same notebook again and see after running the notebook what exactly the result. Okay, so let's get started. So you can create all the services that you required in Azure Cloud. Some services are free, but some services like Databricks, you have to install it. Initial 15 days it is free, but later if you're not removing it, then you need to pay money, right? So in order to avoid any confusion, what you can do is you can create Azure resource group, and inside the resource group you can create all your services that you going to create, and remove the resource group once your work is done. You can create Azure Cloud subscription by using any of your email, and you also have to provide credit card information, but it will not charge until you use specific service for more than some threshold, right? So make sure that you are deleting the services after your experiment. Now we have a subscription. Next is we'll create the resource group. So resource group helps you to organize all the services, that the related services of the application, right? So basically resource groups are logical collections of virtual machines, storage accounts, virtual networks, web apps, databases, or even database servers. And we can use them to group related resources for an application and divide them based on different environment like production, non-production, etc. So how we can create the resource group? Just click on the left hand side, go to resource group and create a new resource group. So here I'm going to give pay as you go. So based on how much volume or how many services we are using on the resource group, the Microsoft will charge me, right? And resource group name, I can give it as training. And next is tag. So if you have multiple resource group, you can give the name here. This is purely for monitoring which resource group is charging more or something like that, to basically to identify which resource group it is. That's it. So finally, once you create, click on the create, your resource group will be ready, and now you can install any services under this resource group. Now we have subscription and we created resource group inside subscription. Next is we can create the Azure Data Lake Gen 2. So this will be our first service that we are going to create, right? So for that, you can click on here, and on the left hand side, you can see all these options, right? Either you can go and click on this create a resource and select the storage account, or you can directly click here and select create storage account. That will open this window where it will ask you which subscription this storage account should create. You can have a drop down, and right now we have only one subscription that will automatically select. And the next is resource group, and even resource group also we have only one, so select that. And as I mentioned, install all the services that you required installed in the same resource group. Then you can delete once your um, studies or experiment is over, right? And the third option is the storage account name. So you can give any name here. I just given KS training, TRING, right? I'm keeping the same region as resource group, and performance is, yep, standard is only required for us. This is just an experiment, but based on your requirement, once you move to the actual work or the for your organization, it may go for premium, right? So I'm not going to explain each and every options here because our main aim is to complete our Databricks site and what are the services required for Databricks. Now let's click on next advanced button. That will open up another set of options. But here what is we need to check is the data lake storage Gen 2. Just enable the hierarchical namespace. This will make sure that we are creating the storage account generation 2, right? And you can see two options here: access tier hot and cool. So if it is hot, then you will be able to access the data very quickly, but at the same time the charge for keeping the data in hot is higher than keeping it in cool. So normally cool layer we use it only for the backup operations where the frequent use of uh, access of the data is not required, right? And I'm not enabling Azure files and tables and queues. We can go through each and every options or about the storage account later, but this session I just want to keep it only for the Databricks side. So I just want to install it. Then let's go for the Databricks service, how we can make use of the Databricks service. So click on the next networking. So we have different options in the networking side too. Since it is a demo and the daily purpose, I'm keeping it public endpoint where I don't need much security here. Normally in case of organization, they go for private endpoint, but I'm going with the public. And also routing preference, I'm keeping as it is, the Microsoft network routing. Then click on data protection. So normally what happens is if you're not having the proper delete statement, or if you didn't give the user that only read-only purpose, read-only access, they may accidentally delete the folders, right? So it happened multiple times with my organization too. Then normally what we do is we have to set up a ticket with Microsoft, work with them to restore the previous stage. So normally you can enable soft delete. So even if the user, if the developer or anyone deletes that container, that will be available for whatever the days mentioned here. But in this case, I don't need, so I'm just removing that. Even for version also, I don't need it, right? Then click on tag and provide any tag name which you like it. Again, I told you, right, this tag will help you to understand which storage account is taking a lot of money. So let's keep it as training. It's completely optional. You don't need to provide that, but yeah, just given that. And finally, you can review and create it. So if every option that we selected is good, it will give you the validation result. Once validation is passed, then click on the create button. That's it. So after some time, your storage account will be ready. Okay, now our data storage is ready. This is our storage Gen2. So if you click on data lake storage, here we don't have any container at this moment. You just click on container. I'm going to give root as the container name and click on create. Now if you click on the root, you can create any folder inside here and start using this one, right? And also I just want to make sure that this storage account should be able to access very quickly. Right now, if you look at my dashboard, you cannot see any services here, right? So what you can do, just click on the left hand side, click on all resource group, open this um, storage account again. Here you can see on the left hand side, you can see the pin button, right? Click on that and keep it as private and click on pin. Now let's go back to the front page, the dashboard, and see how it looks like. Okay. Now you can see the storage account here, which is very helpful in accessing it. Okay, so inside a root, now I'm going to create a couple of directories. So it's based on my convenience. You can go with any naming convention, right? But for me, I am going to create row, and next one is processed. So in the row, I'm going to store all the data from the source system as it is, and while moving from row to processed, I can apply any kind of transformation required, right? Then what the next step is, I can use row, upload the file directly, but in reality you can use Azure Data Factory to pull the data from the source system and keep it in the row layer. So Azure Data Factory can be used as an orchestration tool where you can pull the data from source system, keep it in raw layer, then call Databricks to do the processing and save that processed data into processed layer. So that portion will be doing by Databricks, but the coordination portion can be done by Azure Data Factory, right? So for now, I'm not using Data Factory, but I can directly upload the file that I stored here, that I used for the previous demos. I can use the same thing, right? So I'll go here, where I stored, I say inside, and then just click on upload. Yep, so you have the file now, and we can make use of this in our Databricks notebook. Let's create Databricks services, right? So click on the left hand side, then click on create resource, go to analytics where you can see Azure Databricks. So select the subscription and the resource group. You can select the same resource group, training, then workspace name, right? So we can give KSD bricks, and I want to keep it in the same region because other Azure Data Lake Gen2 are created in the East region, right? So we always have to keep it in the same region so that the data transfer charge will be less. If you are keeping it in different region, then moving the data from one region to another region will be costly operation. And for the pricing tier, I need to select premium, because you can see that only in premium you can have the role based access controls, right? Either you can go for premium, or now you can go for trial version, because this is only for experiments, right? So let's select this 14 days free DPUs. Next is networking option, where it'll ask where you need to deploy Databricks with a secure cluster or not. I'm not changing any of these settings for this demo, and even it'll ask for deploy Azure Databricks workspace in your own virtual network. I don't have any virtual network, but in reality, you have to install it in a virtual network. Here you can give the virtual network and related subnet name, IP range, everything. Okay, then next is advanced. It is asking for the infrastructure encryption. I'm not changing anything. Then next is tags. Finally, review and create. Once the validation is completed, you can just click on create, and your Databricks service is creating now. Now we have Azure storage account, Databricks. Next thing is we need to provide access to the Databricks to read the data from Azure storage account, or not only read, even we need to write it using Databricks, right? So for that, first we need to create, we need to register the app. So we cannot directly provide Databricks access to the Data Lake Gen 2. Instead, we need to create app and register that app. We'll get the service principal. So service principal is like a identity to the app, and we will be providing this service principal access to the Data Lake Gen 2. The service principal that we created and the Databricks we have to connect, so that we tell the cloud Azure that this particular service principal is for the Databricks. Okay, so register an application, we should have the right role assigned to us. So we need to check whether we have that role available, right? So go to Azure Active Directory, then we need to use the users. Go to users and user settings. Inside user settings, you can see the option app registration. User can register application. If it is no, then you will not be able to register the application. So next thing what we need to do is you need to go and check the subscriptions and view your role, right? So if you are not administrator, then you'll not be able to register the application. So what we can do is click on the subscriptions. Okay, then go to click on my permissions on the left hand side. Here, now I am an administrator. I have all the privileges. I can register the app or completely control the Azure cloud for the subscription, right? So let's say other person other than administrator is trying to do that, then you need to check whether you have the required permission or not. So here you can click here to view the complete access details for the subscription. That will open up this window. Right now you can see my access. Here you can see your role. If it is like read only or contributor, you'll not be able to create the you register the application. So you can ask the administrator to add you as a owner or administrator, right? So the administrator can come to role assignment, then click on add as a co-administrator. Right now you can select all the users in your organization will be appearing here. See, if you look at this the last email, it's added as a guest. I can select here and click on add. So now what happens is, after I added Jitu underscore gems as a co-administrator, he can log into the same portal in his ID, then can control this app registration. And now we are ready to register the app. So click on the left hand side, then go to Azure Active Directory. On the left hand side you can see app registration. Click on that, and now you can register new application. All right, so you here you can give any name, right? So here I'll give KS Databricks, right? And next is you can select the supported account types here, and here you can give any name actually. So we can give this is more like a dummy name, right? So I'll just give okay, then click on register. Here you can see application ID, object ID, tenant ID, right? So these are required for now, and normally you should not reveal this to anyone, but I'm going to delete this Azure group, so it's okay. Now let's create a Databricks cluster. Cluster is required for our operations, right? So launch workspace. Now in okay, now you have a lot of it's the same. If you look at this window, this is exactly same as the community edition, right? So now you can click on the compute, and you can create the cluster here. So this we are going to create the interactive cluster, not job cluster, correct? So click the cluster name, any cluster you can give. So I just give it cluster, or let's keep it as KS cluster. Okay, I'm going to have the standard uh, cluster, not high concurrency or single node. Excuse me. Now if you look at the drop down, you can select any version of the Databricks. So they keep on install new versions of the cluster, so you can always go for the latest one, right? Okay, so this option I have explained in my previous one of the previous videos. I'm not going with the every options. So worker type, I'm selecting standard DS3 V2, and this will be terminated after 120 minutes of inactivity. And I don't want 8 workers, let's keep it as 2 to 3, right? Okay, now I'm going to create the cluster. So once the cluster is ready, then we can mount the Azure Data Lake storage. And but actually I don't want to mount. We can on the fly give all the required details whenever one notebook has to execute. If you mount, the problem is we can mount here because it's a demo system, but I just want to show you that how we can control the access if you have multiple teams and multiple users are accessing same data lake, right? So we can create multiple folders in the data lake, then provide access based on the scope. So right now we will see how we can do that. So let the cluster spin up, and then I can talk more about that. Now let's go and collect the key from your storage account, and we can keep that in the Azure Key Vault, right? So let's click on that storage account, then on the left hand side go to access key. By default it is like encrypted or masked form, so you can click on the show keys. Once you click on the show keys, you can see the actual key, right? Copy this one and paste it in your folder or the notepad. Now you have the keys for the storage account. Now what we can do is go to the key vault, right, and click on secrets. On the left hand side you can see generate or import key, right? then what you can do is you can create a new secret. You can say that ADLS key and the value, just paste it here, whatever you saved. You can keep it set activation date, expiration date, everything, but for me, for this demo, it is not required, right? Then click on create. So this is the name of the key that you can copy it, right? You can paste it in your notepad. So you're ready. Now you created the secret, you copied the secret, stored in the keyword. Now we can see how we can make use of the key while um, accessing the Azure Data Lake Gen 2 from the notebook. Now we can see how to connect Databricks to Azure Data Lake Store Gen 2, then access the file, do the processing whatever you want, then save it back to the processed layer, right? And my main intention is to show how you can automate this by schedule the notebook for the time that you are looking for. Okay, now we can see how Databricks can be connected to Azure Data Lake Store Gen 2, right? So if you look at the first statement, we are setting the Spark configuration for this Data Lake Gen 2. This is the name of the Data Lake Gen 2, and we are using the scope. This is the database scope where we provided the key vault entries here for this scope, right? And we are using the key. This is the key of Gen 2. So these two we are joining actually. For this Databricks, this is the key we need to use and access this um, Gen 2 folders. And inside this row layer, we have legally operating business CSV, and we will be using the same file for the demo, right? So here I added the schema for reading the data from the CSV file for the better readability. And this is the statement that created a data frame, right? So if you look at in the data frame, we have a license number, license type, license expiration date, etc. But what I'm doing, I'm just taking the count of records for each license type um, and license status, whether it is active or inactive. So for that, I imported two. Actually, one function is required, only count. Initially, I thought I'll add some, but no integer columns, right? So I just added count, and I created new data frame out of the previous data frame, group by license type and license status, and taking the count. So this is the result, right? And this result, I need to store it in the table. So I created another delta table, license status, with these three columns, and the path is here, processed layer license status. Okay. Now, initially I thought that I'll write the actual data frame directly into the folder as a delta, but I also want to show you the merge statement and how the count is increasing when we schedule the notebook, right? So for that, I just created a view, temporary view. It says that um, this status is not available for now. So let me check. Where is that? Oh, where is TF group? Yeah, this. Let me execute this. Okay. Now execute this again. Oh, it's already exists. Sorry. So what you can do? Let's see, spark.execute and drop table if exist give license. Okay, now let's see what the data. So we have 1 2 3 4 records, and these are the count, right? Now using this one, what I'm doing, so this is the delta table, this is the view,
For each license type and the license status, we are updating the count, right? And you can see the final result. It's a let me after the merge. Okay, only 4 records. Yes, so we are good. So this is the notebook. I want to schedule it, then we can come back and see the count again. Now we have seen this notebook, we have gone through the statements. Now it's the time to schedule the job, right? On the left hand side you can see job. Click on there and create a new job. Give the job name KS license. Okay, schedule type, it's a schedule one. Basically we can select every minute, right? It is in the UTC, that's fine. And select the notebook which you want to execute, and here is my notebook. Okay, I can use new job cluster or even select the existing cluster. Normally it will create new cluster and it will stop it at automatically once the job finish, but let it be there. And maximum concurrent runs is 1. If you want to add any alert, you can add the alert, but for this demo I'm not adding it. Then you just click create, your job is ready, right? Now let's see when it runs. So once the job is executed, you can see all the executed run here, completed job here. So we need to wait for 1 minute because we given as every 1 minute run, right? So let's see. Yep, this is the run details. You can click there and you can find out what exactly it ran. In case of errors, that also you can find here, right? But you may think that okay, the count is not changing because we don't have new what is that new file. So let me add a new file there, then we'll see what change it will happen, right? Let's add new file. So I added one more file here, 2004 file, right? So let's go back here and click on the job, all jobs. We'll wait for another run, right? It's already ran, but I'm not sure. No, this is old one. Run ID is 94 for 32 for 33. This is the latest one. And let me check any differences. 45626, right? 45626, and the first run is 45026. So the difference, right? See the difference, 45026 and run 2, the total count is different, 45626, around 600 record added up here. So it means the new file came. So now what I can do to understand it more, because the count is less, right? So let me add some more. 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. Okay, click OK and upload. Okay, all the files uploaded. Then now we'll wait for next run. This run is already there, right? So we need to wait for next schedule. Yep, so we got the next run. Which one is the latest one? Is 435, I believe. Let's go there and see. Yeah, you can see the count difference. It came in 60s, right? 62 646. So this is how we can schedule the notebook, right? So for to demonstrate this, I had to start from the beginning because I was not using this Azure portal for long. I was using Community Edition, so I had to set everything like right from the beginning, like installing the Azure Data Lake Gen 2 service, Databricks, Key Vault, Azure Data Active Directory, connect Databricks to Data Lake Gen 2, upload the notebook that we were using in the previous videos, then uh, create the transformation that we needed, create the delta table, then did the merge statement, and finally showed how we can schedule the notebook, executed multiple jobs. Hope you understood all the concept. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below, and I can reply back to the comments. Thank you.
If you would like to receive more such videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you would like to connect with me, I have provided my details here, my email and LinkedIn. So thank you very much.